Welcome to Paris. Today we're going to be doing more walk the walk than talk the talk. I'd like to show you some of the lesser known interesting spots in Paris. Now we're looking at the Eiffel Tower, but it's not the Eiffel Tower that I'm interested in at the moment. It's the balcony in front of us, where people are taking their photos. How many of these people know that that's a historic spot? Yep, that is where Adolf Hitler and his henchmen had their photo taken when they invaded Paris. Thank God they're no longer here. We've just arrived at Place de la Concorde, which is at the bottom of the Avenue de Champs-Élysées. You might be able to make out the Arc de Triomphe in the distance. But we're here on Place de la Concorde to have a look at a plaque, which is at the foot of the obelisk, which came from Luxor and arrived here and was placed in this spot in 1836. Let's have a quick look. That's it. At the foot of this obelisk, we have a plaque. And this plaque says, on this spot, the plaque was placed by Louis XV in November 1792 and May 1795. This was called the Place de la Révolution, not Place de la Concorde. And on this very spot stood the guillotine, which lopped off the heads of Marie Antoinette and Louis XVI. It's a pretty chilling spot. People just walk over it, don't realise where they're standing, but this is a historic plaque. Well, here we are at the famous Pyramid of the Louvre. We're all familiar with that, but how many of us are familiar with the second pyramid, which is underground? Let's see if we can go and find it. There's a little shopping centre under the Louvre. We'll go looking for it. Well, here it is, the pyramid underground, but the pyramid is upside down. I like the way the architect was thinking. He's maximised the ground floor for people to walk around, have their photos taken with it. Yeah, it's pretty good. Let's move on. We are now in the heart of the Latin Quarter. This is called Place de la Contrescarpe. Plenty of restaurants, plenty of drinking, lots of people. But we haven't come here to look at Place de la Contrescarpe. We're just going to go down that street that you see there in front of us, which is called Rue Cardinal Lemoine, because down that street lived some famous people. So let's go and have a look. Okay, we've arrived at the rooming house where Ernest Hemingway lived for 2 years, 1922 to 1923. He lived on the 3rd floor. On the 3rd floor with his wife and baby. He writes about this particular apartment in his memoirs, Movable Feast, which is a decent read. Go for it. Ernest Hemingway, who died in 1961 from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. What a waste. Never mind. But more than this, we just go down the road about 100 metres And we're going to see another famous author, or at least where he lived. Okay, we've come down about 100 metres from Hemingway's place, and this is the apartment building where James Joyce wrote his famous novel Ulysses. That was his masterpiece, and he wrote most of it in this particular building. Let's have a look at the building. Whoop, I'm going to get run over by a car here. Okay, we're approximately 100 metres down from Place de la Contrescarpe. Well, there you go, folks. We will move on. Well, here we are, folks. We've arrived at the entrance to the catacombs of Paris. What are the catacombs, you might ask? Well, it was a quarry underground with kilometres and kilometres of corridors, passageways and tunnels. In 1785, when Baron Haussmann was cleaning up Paris, he had to get rid of all the slums and also dozens and dozens of cemeteries. Where to put the bones? Well, they decided to put the bones down in these tunnels and corridors of this quarry. It's not a place for the faint-hearted. As you walk along, there are bones, skulls, lots of dead people, and I'm talking about lots, from dozens of cemeteries. So if you can't handle that, don't go. Also take a torch with you, because it does get a bit dim down there. Well, here we are, folks. A little bit more uplifting than the catacombs. We're at Shakespeare's bookshop. This is a very famous bookshop that was started early 20th century, and the woman who owned it helped the early Americans who came to Paris to do their writing and to be a bit more bohemian. People like Hemingway was sponsored by Shakespeare Bookshop. At the time they weren't in this place, which is across the river from the Notre Dame Cathedral, but it's been here a long, long time. And as you can see, there are people queuing up to get in. It's got lots and lots of books, and it's very, very small spaces to walk around. You're always rubbing shoulders with people, so it is an interesting spot to come. Got great books on every subject that you want. So if you come to Paris, you must come to Shakespeare's Bookshop, which is just across the road or across the river from Notre Dame Cathedral. Well, folks, we're outside Notre Dame Cathedral, but before we show you what's left of it, I want to point you towards the crypt, which is an archaeological dig, and they found the city, or parts of the city of Lutèce, of 2,000 years old. It's pretty dimly lit, so it's not suitable for photographs unless you bring your own lighting, and it's a very, very interesting spot. Bits and pieces of old buildings, staircases, entrances, but it's a very interesting spot. It's just outside Notre Dame Cathedral. Well, there it is, folks. Notre Dame Cathedral. with lots and lots of scaffolding. There was more scaffolding a year ago, but they're working hard to repair it. Will it ever come back to the way it was? Who knows. Fortunately, the front part of it, which is there, the front towers, didn't get completely destroyed, but the roofs caved in. I'm sure you've all seen the fire on TV. It was pretty disastrous. But they're spending tens and tens and tens of millions of euros to try and repair it. The interior has all been cleaned up and they're starting to repair that. All the statues, yeah, lots of work to be done, and it'll go on for a few more years yet. Folks, if you enjoyed all this, don't forget to give me a like, comment, share, and please subscribe. We are growing the channel slowly, but I need more subscriptions, and if you hit that notification bell, it'll help this building be reconstructed a lot faster. Folks, thanks very much. I hope you've enjoyed a little trip around Paris. There's a lot more to come. We'll probably have to do a part 2. So stay positive, keep smiling. Until next time, bye for now.